Hi peeps, welcome to the table. Ah, man. Very early morning read, still dark outside, which sometimes is a good thing. It's a clear time of the day. And, oh, I was gonna get a different deck, hang on. I have to be a little mindful because I got so many candles lit this morning as I reach awkwardly. One of my favorite decks. I haven't used it in a while. I mean, that doesn't tell you much, but you might recognize it. The colors are really nice. And I realize, too, I start to laugh and it becomes unintelligible. So, yeah, forgive me for my... idiosyncrasies. On top of the deck was Ganesha, remover of obstacles. And I think that's going to figure in. Yeah, I've got some technical things I'll talk about as I'm shuffling, but I wanted to mention when we're in a relationship that's really important with somebody we love, and yet we've come to recognize things that are really unhealthy about the history of the relationship. And that perhaps to a certain extent are still, the red flags are all over the place. That just says, oh boy, there's a lot here to work on. And yet, for whatever reason, the timing or the circumstance or, other concerns that are sort of overshadowing it, it might not be a good time to try to break it down with this person. And, maybe there's your own inner work that takes priority, that you figure out or you feel out your role in the relationship, because we don't have control over what the other guy does, and we do have control over saying, if it's hurtful to us, that's hurtful to me. It's very hard to do, and if it's somebody I love, I'll, I think my usual method of dealing with it is not to deal with it. To acknowledge that this is a bit, I'm not being entirely honest, and I don't think, I think it's a good thing to consider. Does this information need to come out right now? Am I doing this for this person? Am I doing it for me? Why disclose now? Or call them on it every time they go into that mode that makes you want to just scream, because they show you a bad face periodically. May or may not have a bearing on it, but I think it will. When you love somebody, how do you, and you're it's not pure as the driven, it's intermingled with anger and mistrust, maybe on both sides, just difficult situations, and the love isn't pure that way. How do you allow the love to remain and somehow block the or mitigate the nonsense that can come your way? I'd love to discover more about how to do that, to set a boundary that's not a wall, but it's more like a filter so that positive things come through and go out. And they're coming at you, and your reactive response, there's a we could selectively block that. keep the love flowing, you know, even if the relationship doesn't fully resolve. Because fully resolved, that's a tall order. Oh man, sorry. This has to go back on. I think it's 10 of Wands. No, it's 9 of Wands. Somebody has been through it. This person has sort of been brought to their knees by some situation. They'd like to carry on, but they're not sure they can. Because they, 9, personally need to get out of this battle, get out of this. You know, they're tired of trying to fight their way through. Okay. 5 of Swords, yeah. There's been a fight, there's been a contention, there's been a disagreement, there's been a reason for mistrust. Sword energy, it's to do with, you know, in its positive aspect, clarity, communication. This is something where you felt you had to take sides. You know, to be on your own side at the very least. And this person, you know, may have been fighting other people as well. People who felt like they needed to be on your side, so they took, you may have more than one person in the mix. There may be people trying to defend you because they can recognize that you're the wounded warrior. You're tired. And it may have been a situation where people had to take sides. Maybe people who knew you both. 3 of Wands. Well, we're calling in something else. Again, in Wands energy, 3 cards out. All of them Wands, fire energy. You know, what impels us forward. It's to do, I'm sorry, we've got that 5 of Swords in the middle. To do with our intuition, to do with our ability to draw something better toward us. Because we're tired. Now, when I say we're tired, you know, I just feel like I have to make that clear because I'll rewatch a tape and think, oh man, I was assigning that to somebody and it may be somebody else in that dynamic. So always be ready to shift the roles around. You know, it may be them, whoever the them is, that's exhausted because they've been in an argument, in a contentious situation with the people around them. And it was like factions. Different people took sides. And now this individual, could be you, could be them, is turning away from that toward the future. I don't want to rehash this interminably. I'm tired. 9 of Wands. So I'll orient in a different direction toward the light, towards clarity. This is not clarity. This is a big confused brawl. You know, like something where everybody's shouting and nobody's hearing anybody. I think you're pulling out of that situation. Ten of Swords, yeah, you are. Something's wrapped up. You've completed a cycle. You're now looking toward the future. You know, this may have been a situation involving betrayal or feeling boxed in by other people's beliefs, or that they've said things about you that made you feel like they were trying to pigeonhole you, something like that. Cut you off from the outside world. Or you were so up in your head, you were isolated from the world. You were living in your being, sword energy. But I think that Five of Swords situation is done, is coming to completion. Because you were exhausted, somebody was exhausted. So somebody ended a kind of a painful cycle that involved some fights. Two of Cups under Five of Swords. It could be that a choice you made about, where your heart was drawing you, what you were trying to manifest in terms of a relationship. You know, you had somebody not only on your mind, but in your heart, some kind of unfulfilled or is yet to be. I think this never really got off the ground. But it might in the future, now that this cycle has been wrapped up. Something to do perhaps with a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Or a fire sign. Out of conflict, Five of Swords, into accord with somebody where love is the principal moving force, the principal what we're trying to manifest. I can't think of the word for the principal energy. King of Wands. All that Wands energy. I think you're dealing with a fire sign, or you are a fire sign, or the person who is takes action. They're warm, they're passionate. They're inspired to do things, Wands energy. Inspiration, doing. And one of the things they've done is say, I can't go on with this. There's a lot of hurt involved, and mind games, and reasons not to trust it. So I'm looking forward to something else. Something will come to me. Wands energy, directional pull. Something will come to me. Somebody will do something. That's what somebody's thinking, or rather doing. And one of the things they're doing is closing out the cycle so that they can pursue Wands energy, a connection. And who are they? King of Wands. The one capable of that. The one who knows themselves. The one who acts on, listen, this is about inability to trust, Five of Swords. This person is trustworthy. And it could be you are this person. And in a way, ready to fight for, Five of Swords, a connection and something else. King of Swords is not pushed around. You know, he's the pusher, not the pushee. Tell us about Ten of Swords, the cycle that's ending, please. So far, all minor arcana. This is playing out in 3D. And as I said before, somehow driven by love. That's the fire energy again, the Fool, card of Aries. Drive. You know, willing to take the leap, willing to begin. Bold action. But something needs to be or has been wrapped up before this could happen. The Fool's Journey, the beginning. I said it's all major, it's all minor arcana. Here's the major. You know, this all may be playing out in 3D, but the psychic force behind it is new beginnings. For me, full energy. And what are we leaping toward? I think a connection that may have been sort of blocked or stalled out somehow by, you know, you were caught up, somebody was caught up in a contentious situation where there was argument and you know, like not just two sides, 3 sides. Might have been 2 against 1. Turning away to see what about the future, you know, 3 of Wands. And here it is. This is the mid-air leap. Okay. And that was on 10 of Swords. So, can you tell us about this king? He's certainly taking action. Page of Pentacles. This is like an offer to work on something. To build something. Page. And it's something that's underway and needs more work to be completed. Because the incompleteness somehow is the block. This person approaches and stops. It's a page energy. It's a young energy, or it can be, you know, some lesson that's been learned that allows you in 3D to have the material, Pentacles energy, the raw material for a change, and can really put it into action. You know, in 3D, it's a building block. On 9 of Wands, 10 of Cups. Could be, I'm a wounded warrior, I'm exhausted, this is what I'm after. It's like I'm ultimately exhausted, and I want the ultimate happiness. And maybe the pursuit of that Wands energy was just, you couldn't get there from here, because it was a situation that was too contentious. It may have at one point been a 10 of Cups, a very fulfilling situation that you've given it your all. 9 of Wands. You tried and tried and tried and tried, all these wands energy. I'll do it this way, I'll do it that way, I'll do it this way, approach it this way. And, you know, it got worse. Or like it became clear, wands energy, that this was like a mismatch. Pulling in something else. And if you're pulling in another person, they're leaping toward you. And if it's you, you're leaping into your own life, into your own future, having wrapped this up, and you're leaping toward a connection, or toward the possibility of a connection, let's say. And it could be they're leaping to it, right? Keep flipping the script if need be. Tell us about this Three of Wands. Somebody trying to manifest, somebody waiting for something to come in. They're turning their back on this fight and they're reorienting toward a happier, yeah, exactly. You know, trouble in River City, in a place of lack, not fulfilling, turning away from that, you know, moving on, this little character, not entering in, just walking by, walk on by. There's not enough for me here. I'm looking forward to a future that's different than this. Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, if you add those together, get 10 in Major Arcana is Wheel of Fortune. Moving on from the fights and the situation that was like, you couldn't get anything of value out of it anymore. So onward. And, you know, passing that situation by, that doorway, right? Not this portal. This one was lack. It's this portal in fire energy. I choose to go through, you know, I make a decision, Ace of Wands, I have the passion, and there's an opportunity to accept this offer of new life for me, Ace. I can change the course, the direction, Wands energy, of my life. I can orient toward the future and not go back into a situation that was lack. Not go back to the lack. And that goes on Five of Swords. There's going to be a major shift that allows for this kind of liberation. Wheel of Fortune, Fool. Two of Cups. The Moon. We're coming up on a full moon in Capricorn. This is Cancer, card of Cancer. Principally, that's how I read it, so let's just read it that way. Card of attraction, like this. It's feminine energy. It's somebody who may be waiting like 3 days, and I don't know when the full moon is. It's the end of the month, but not very long. Water energy. On Two of Cups, water energy. It's something that you may know or feel despite the fact that it hasn't, you know, it's still sort of in It's still under construction somehow. And perhaps there's an offer to, I'm bringing something to the table, something workable. Again, Pentacles energy, work, 3D. Card of Divine Feminine. And I don't know what the wolf head is. It's sort of like, at the beginning, remember we were mentioning Ganesha. And the myth to do with, I don't have my stories of the Hindu myths down well at all. But I know that Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. And that, I think it was his dad, misinterpreted something Ganesh did and chopped off his head. And somebody, perhaps his mother, quickly replaced it with the head of an elephant. I'm sure I'm mangling the myth. But there's something about replacing the head. Or the heart in this case. Replace, there may have been some kind of switch up. Because somebody left a place that was full of lack, oriented towards something else, said, yes, I accept this opportunity for passion, for the new portal, the new way. Ace of Wands, personal responsibility for this. It isn't like anybody made anybody wait. Somebody who wanted this new beginning was patient. And Fool isn't known for being patient, but it's like mid-spring. This person may be just beginning Fool energy. But they're certainly tapped into their feelings. And this head business may echo there's an element of moon that can be fearful, to take the leap and trust, to do it based on what you intuit. Do it, intuit. And again, it may happen very soon. There may be some kind of tangible, something that shows up that's small, but it indicates this major shift. It's like, I'm here. I'm all in. I've closed out a cycle. I'm ready to begin to build something. I couldn't build it elsewhere. Wheel of Fortune. I love it when that happens. Those 2 5s, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. Not great energies. Energies we'd like to move on from. 5s indicate the need for change. And here we've got a major arcana card of change. Of stepping into the new phase. Stepping into the new phase. Taking that action. To step into, a kind of karmic ascension. You've done some kind of work, transforming from 9 of Wands to Ace of Wands, 3 of Wands. It's not pounding it out in the old way. It's not taking the beating. It's looking toward a new beginning. 3 of Wands, Ace of Wands. And a better new beginning. It's somebody's not stepping up. I don't quite know the verb for this. the turning of the wheel. You know, they're cooperating with destiny. They're accepting the destiny. They're saying, yes, I will do this. Great change. Coming into feelings, leaping into water energy. Fool, Moon, Two of Cups. Get ready. And somebody's getting ready. They are. They're kind of in the prep stage. And this all feels so new to them, or new to you, or new to both of you. But it's like if that's the case, you've each come to this decision isn't quite right, but you're impelled to embark on this journey, each of you. Both of you. But I think somebody's taking the lead, King of Wands. And they may have, by turning away from the Nine of Wands, you know, I'll continue to kind of sacrifice for this situation. Turning towards something else for the new beginning. Future looks bright. I do believe that's it. Now let me just look for a second to see if there's any, well, it's this. At the very beginning I was saying there's somebody who you know, there were fights. There was contention. There was reason for mistrust. Sides were taken. There were factions. And you just basically said, there's nothing for me here. I'm out. I'm not going to engage in this anymore. I'm leaving the field. And it's an unfair fight. It's somehow 2 against 1. You know, so I'm passing this by because I want to begin again. And I don't think, you know, that taking this person to task is necessarily the way you want to go. You might want to turn your back on that. Somebody might want to turn their back on all the things that need to change, because change is coming, and it's going to be good. And it's almost like you don't need to struggle like this to make the change. Nine of Wands, 10 of Cups. You know, maybe you don't need to struggle. This kind of fulfillment is going to come to you after the cycle is wrapped up, once you orient toward the future. You know, and you've manifested through hard work. You fought the good fight, 9 of Wands, to get to here, to get to this 10 of Cups, this 2 of Cups, this emotional fulfillment, the fullness, the completion, the full moon. Through many phases. Through many phases. And now it's like, here we are, we've arrived, the wheel is turned. Let's begin this new path, this path toward a connection that's deep and deeply felt. Two of Wands. That's the decision. So this person is like, this is the portal card in a traditional Rider-Waite. I don't understand the imagery here where the person is bent over. It's almost like, I'm getting it like, you know, if you're diving into something and you kind of get in that posture before you, you know, actually make the dive, push off and do it. There's that moment where you know where you want to go. There's a slight bit of prep work, but you've made a decision. You've made the decision. Somebody has, to enter this new life. To accept the karmic destiny, to go for it. One's energy, go for it. Go for it. The contention gets resolved, I think principally because you don't engage in the argument anymore. And I don't think you necessarily cut this person off, but you focus on a future that like gets you somewhere. Because you have a karmic destiny. I'm not sure it's with this energy. That calls for change. That calls for moving forward. That calls for Wheel of Fortune. Oh yeah, I guess that's it. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.